Now, look,
Very entertaining.
speaking of Donald Trump, there's been a little biffo recently with dear old Kevin Rudd, former disastrous
Yes.
Prime Minister of Australia.
Yes.
Kevin said some very mean things about Donald Trump over the years. He called him
He
a
did.
traitor to the West and, all sorts of things. More comments have come out recently of his address at a university in the UK. Trump got wind of this thanks to Nigel Farage. He told Nigel Farage during an interview that he'd heard Rudd was, quote unquote, a little bit nasty and not the brightest bulb. And Trump went on to say that Rudd's ambassadorship would be short-lived if he was hostile. Now, I think fair enough to Trump. I think, though, in my opinion, that dissection of Kevin Rudd is probably reasonably accurate, a little bit nasty and not the brightest bulb. But look, knowing Rudd, would you say that things are not looking good for him? Do you think Donald Trump would push him off if he's elected?
Well, look. I mean, it's the election's still 8 months away, and it's probably 50-50 whether Trump's going to be reelected. But if he is re-elected, that's obviously problematic for Kevin Rudd, and it's not something that he'd be hoping for. That is for sure. But do I think President Trump is going to try to terminate his commission? No, that rarely happens. It never happens almost in US history. I mean, the other country gets the option, gets to choose who their ambassador is. But I mean, the president could ignore him, I mean, certainly, and just not meet with him and not talk to him. And that would be, just as bad, really, especially since it is our most important ally and we're relying on the US more and more for our defense all the time. That's, with or without AUKUS. We need the US very much. So I think it'd be pretty foolish for an Australian government to have an ambassador that the president really disliked. So, and I know the Prime Minister's come out and said that he's going to stay regardless, but, let's just wait and see if that happens. I mean, you might find that, Kevin Rudd decides to, to step aside or find another job in New York if Trump is re-elected. That's what I think would probably happen because, frankly, it's just too risky. We don't know what we'd be missing out on, but we might be missing out on something significant if, Trump were there.
And Rudd. That's right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And look, one of the recent comments that's just come to light that Kevin Rudd made about Donald Trump at the university in the UK a few years ago, he said disparagingly that, his rallies are full of angry white men. Now, Adam, don't you think that's a little bit off of Kevin Rudd, of all people, who is about the angriest and the whitest man you'd possibly find criticising Trump for having supposedly angry white men at his rallies?
Yes, no, look, that is true. And I wasn't aware of that comment, but it's a very stupid comment, and it's the sort of comment that increases Trump's popularity all the time. So, I think people have got to, I think Rudd's probably learned a big lesson throughout this about, talking about foreign leaders, kind of mouthing off about them, even when they're down, can be a very bad idea.
Yes, it certainly can. So again, we've got such an interesting time ahead of us in American politics.